Oh, this looks like a video game. All right, that means it is my time to go. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll see you later. But I'm going to be passing off the mic to Viev.
Good friend.
Oh wow, is this? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Viev. It's
Yeah, this is Viev. You can find him at Viev_SSB on Twitter. Also, I'm Nightwing2024
yeah.
on Twitter.
I'm super shocked that this is like the first round because
Yeah.
these are two really good teams.
This is kind of crazy. JJROCKETS and Dan and Zinoto and Stewie, that's sort of insane. This is a crazy, like, this has got to be, like,
Zinoto and Stewie are the first seed.
Right.
Like, they are the first seed for the tournament.
And so JJ,
well, they're not the first seed actually.
JJ
No,
and
they'd be,
Dan
like,
must
the
have
third
lost
seed.
and winners at some point or something. Like this, like this at least should be round 2. But here we go, round 1. Mario and Diddy Kong versus Diddy Kong and Sonic.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about the team of Diddy Kong and Sonic of Zinoto and Stewie?
From Zinoto and Stewie, the thing about Zinoto is that if you ask him, he says he's going to be very bad at dubs. But the thing about Zinoto is also that he's incredibly good at the game. And that's where Stewie comes in, where Stewie is just amazing at dubs. For whatever reason, he always knows what's going on in the stage. He'll always save you if he can. He'll always cover you. He'll always throw into you. He always knows exactly, where he needs to be in order to cover for his teammate. He's really impressive at it. I've teamed with him. He has carried me before in teams. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of his bag. Like that's his thing. He's just like, if I gotta rock you in the backpack, I'll carry you all the way home. But on the other hand, JJROCKETS and Dan are two of the best players in the Chicago region, and they are actually practicing for Genesis 3 right now. That's why they're normally it's Dan and Knight and JJ and Demitis, but because only Dan and JJ are going to Genesis, they decided to team and practice for a while. And it seems so far that they have some good team combos going back and forth, but it's just Zinoto is so good at being elusive that they're not really able to pin him down. So they seem to be kind of focusing on Stewie here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're kind of 2 stocks down technically, but blue team looking at like some high percents, and I'm pretty sure Dan and Knight are going. Dan and JJ rather. I'm sorry, Dan and Knight team a lot, so I'm just used to saying that. Dan and JJ are going to be able to take those stocks off right quick, but they look like they're surviving. Wow, look at them go. Okay, there goes one.
Yeah, right.
Oh goodness.
All right, so now, we're all back up and tied in regards to stocks, but 79 and 68 for Chicago, Team Chicago, basically. They are in need of some damage building opportunities here.
Yeah, this is looking to be one of those slow games where like someone just basically edges you out eventually through your 3 stocks. It's not even like one person's being focused. You're just both losing in neutral, not keeping your stage control, and you just slowly just take more damage than your opponent.
Mm-hmm. And if Dan can keep his stock here, he can kind of let JJ do some stuff with bananas. But that's the JJROCKETS special right there.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate SDs at the worst possible time.
Yeah.
But so really what now it comes down to is JJ needing to not take damage and hang on to the stock for every last shred of himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now it's looking like they're in an even worse position than they were before because JJ lost his stock earlier than he should have, quote unquote, and now it's showing with that like extra 50% he has, whereas blue team still has their second stock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, like Dan and JJ and honestly like GGA and Knight's teams in general, they have a lot of synergy. So when they can get their team synergy there, when they have it, they're really powerful. But if they don't have it, then they have to go by their own like skill level, which is pretty high. To be fair, they're some of the best of Chicago, like undisputed, But when it comes to beating people like Zinoto and teams, like you're gonna need a little bit something more than just your own skill level.
When you talk about the GGA guys, is that individually they're very skilled,
yes.
But Zinoto is one of the top 30, according to the Genesis 3 bracket, he was 33 ranked of all the players that were going.
33 ranked.
Zinoto is seriously good. So if you're going to have to deal with 2 1v1s, Zinoto's going to come out on top. So it's all going to come down to how these guys can work as a team. And right now, JJ's in a rough spot. It seems like blue team is probably going to have be able to take this to game 2 without too much trouble. What JJ and Dan are going to need to do is, like you said,
wow, the coverage there was ridiculous.
The team synergy has to be there, otherwise it's going to be a quick 2-0 handshake.
Yeah, you're showing it right there. That was kind of a 3 stock. They didn't they just started losing from the get-go, and they didn't do anything to be able to come back. They're going to need to have a serious conversation about the way that they're playing this, because right now, if they just play it the same way they did before, they need a plan. Honestly.
Yeah, and I think what happened was that the great Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Right.
And Zinoto and Stewie came out and just punched them right in the mouth. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, we don't care what your plan is. We're just going to start and just go off on you. And then from there, they just sort of, whatever the game plan they had fell apart.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen here is that JJ and Dan, they showed flashes of awesome teamwork. Like they got a kill on Stewie on the edge of the stage where it was back throw into back air, and it looked really, really sexy. But really, other than those like couple of flashes, it really looked like they're kind of out of sorts.
Yeah, honestly, that's the sort of thing that in order to beat a team like Zinoto and Stewie, and like really good teams like teams you see at Genesis, for example, that's the sort of thing you need to do constantly. You need to get almost the majority of stocks should be like you doing team combos in a way that gives like a huge setup into a guaranteed kill.
And really, what we're seeing here now is actually both teams are content to send their Diddy Kongs forward, and then like let the two other players kind of hang back.
Yeah, look at this percent discrepancy. It's just happening again, but like faster.
Now that being, I mean, Red Team has done a much better job at trying to keep stage control here. They're fighting their way back to center stage a lot of the time, and just like that, like they trapped them in the corner and forced them to either shield or try and jump it out of the way, and they caught the stock there. But so like that's kind of what Red Team needs to keep doing, is that they've actually seriously been challenging stage control, and that netted them the first kill.
Oh, there goes another. Banana throw on shield to F smash on the ledge is so powerful that it literally pressured two different people's shields, and they couldn't really punish it either.
Yeah,
one of them just died, and the other one just had to sit there while their like teammate died. Like that's legitimately what happened.
And so something to keep an eye on in all of our doubles matches today is that if you don't follow a lot of doubles or if you don't play a lot, is how players react when they get their opponent off stage. Like as you see right now, they kind of are doing two 1v1s. But once, like say Zinoto gets JJ off stage, we have to see if that player is going to go over and help his teammate, or if he's going to try for the edge guard, because that's going to really dictate how they feel about this team. Because if they're going and trying to get every 2v1 opportunity that they can, it's going to let them back for free, but it's going to force them to be the aggressors to try and get back to stage.
Wow. Man. This is I think Zinoto's the only person who still has his first stock.
Yeah, Zinoto has been doing so well hanging on to his stocks. This man has just been moving and grooving all over the stage.
Basically being able to completely ignore what happened to Stewie early on in the game. Now it's looking like Red Team just completes like the entire stock back. Oh goodness. I think Zinoto almost went for the up smash after that.
He wanted it. He wanted it so bad.
Then he realized his teammate was still there, and it was like awkward.
All right, so there goes Zinoto's first stock, but JJ has now lost his second stock. So this is, again, looking like a kind of a dire situation for Red Team. Again, they sort of let Blue Team take back control of the stage at all times, and I think they went to FD to try and give their mobility room to showcase.
Yeah.
But Zinoto and Stewie have been like, you know what, we have just as much mobility as you, and we're going to be using it better.
Yeah, if not better, in fact. Like, Sonic, he's fast. That's one thing he is, honestly.
I mean, isn't that like the kind of defining characteristic of his character?
He really is. He is very fast. I was playing Pop Out earlier in Friendly, and I realized, oh wow. Every time you play Sonic in a match battle, you just realize how fast he is. Honestly. But yeah, everyone's at high percents again, but their entire stock. They're losing stage control too. They're not able to like stay on the stage.
Yeah, Zinoto and Stewie are doing so good. As soon as they get into a disadvantaged position, they instantly force themselves, like they force their will on the GGA guys and kind of get them back on the edges of the stage. It seems like most of this time it's been Red Team fighting to get back to the center of the stage.
Wow, did you see that?
I did. It was awesome.
That was amazing. He used the jump after the side B. He like went upwards instead of going away like Diddy Kong usually do to like combo into to like catch JJ off guard up there and just kill him over the top. That was amazing. And then Stewie almost getting the last kill, but then he does get it.
Yeah, and to just finish up what I was saying before, and that was exactly Sign's showcase there, is it seems like Zinoto and Stewie were basically like they had the advantage position the entire time, because either they had stage control, or the second they lost stage control, they instantly got it back and just put them right back on the edges.
Yeah.
So that was a showcase of what you need to do in doubles. If you're going up against a team that is talented, but not necessarily is a static team.
It's definitely one of those sets that even after looking at it, I'm not even sure what I would say to give advice, because like they were losing in neutral, and they're losing stage control, and they're losing off stage, and they're losing their stocks faster, and it's just like you want to tell them like, oh, like stick together a little bit more, like something like that, but that's not advice. It's not like GGA. It's not like GGA team doesn't know that. Like, they know those things. You know?
It was really just sort of a shellacking. Like, I mean, they're obviously going to go back and watch the tape and study that going into losers. But I gotta imagine that if you're JJROCKETS and Dan, that's not what you want to have.
I would say
going into Genesis in a couple of weeks.
It's disappointing. Not disappointing. It's not encouraging. It's discouraging, is what it is. Honestly, in that situation, like against that team specifically, I think the plan might have been to focus on Stewie. But seeing as Stewie is playing the fastest character in the game,
it was really tough to pin him down. Like, actually, Zinoto and Stewie were both being extremely elusive. They were not letting these guys pin them down. And I think what JJ and Dan really wanted to do was they wanted to get these team combos rolling, but every time that they thought they would have it, they would skitter, or Zinoto or Stewie would skitter away, and then that would put them in a bad position. And then that second teammate, whoever they weren't focusing, would come in and just clean up and cause havoc, and it just didn't work out for them. So
and one of the problems is that usually like a doubles philosophy thing is that there's always going to be, almost always going to be an aggressor character and a hangback character. And the hangback character is usually kind of slow, but he like sees out stocks and covers for the aggressor, whereas the aggressor is fast and like mobility and stuff like that. But the hangback character in Zinoto Stewie is Stewie, and the aggressor character is Zinoto. And it's really hard to go after Stewie, even though he's not like technically like the highest skill level as Zinoto is. But you don't ever want to approach Zinoto. Like, even like no matter how good you are at the game, you don't ever want to like just try to run up and hit Zinoto. Zinoto is incredibly good. And even if you're an ally or like anyone, it's just difficult to like fight that person.
Yeah.
You know? And so you have to find ways. And Zinoto has told me personally, like, he thinks he's bad at doubles, but as soon as his teammate dies and he's in a 1v2, he's like, that's my game.
Yeah.
I love doing that.
and that's why even when